together today, minus the girls. So we were down in here last week, but the results that we got were actually pretty far from what we were expecting. So we made a couple modifications to the experiment to see if we can get what we're looking for, or to get a more accurate reading, I guess.
So we want to eliminate the Venturi effect, is what we're trying to do here.
And the Venturi effect was that it was, last time it was sucking, right, and not blowing it out.
Yeah, so what was happening is the flow was fairly good on these. So the flow is basically coming into this thing and going straight through. So as it's going straight through, it's going to actually, will grab onto air from the top molecules and they'll get caught up in that stream. They'll end up coming out this hole too. So the diameter of our stream is too small. So that means that it had plenty of room around it to create that suction effect to blow the thing through, and it was laminar too. So they're all flowing generally in this direction. And what we found was, so we had an actual pressure drop up here on all of them except for the very longest one, which makes sense. So here we'd have it shooting in. Because this tube is so long right here, it had a chance to actually open up and start getting turbulent on the inside. So this one actually had a higher pressure as expected right there. So this should take care of that. That makes sense that that's what was going on. Are we 100% certain? No, but we're about 90%, so that's pretty good. Okay, so now we have this. Air's gonna have to go through that.
Okay.
So by having to go through that, there's no way that can be a straight laminar flow. That's gonna have to be bouncing around and going everywhere. So when it comes out of that, it's gonna be going everywhere. Except I put it in the wrong one. It goes in this one. Let's try it one more time.
And that's the one with the wider hole, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's our guy. So that's it right there. That should do it. So this is basically the equivalent of, so if you have a really rough surface on the inside, you can actually cause what's called a friction factor on the inside, and so that'll actually, the air as it's traveling through it hits those bumpy surfaces. So what we did is anything that's like 5% or more, which means 5% of this total diameter and roughness on the inside is considered extremely rough. Well, we just made the interior roughness 100%.
Okay.
So it's going to be very, very rough. So there's no way you can have laminar flow going through that. It's impossible, because you can't even see light going through that even if you wanted to. So
okay, cool.
So it's going to be forced. Every molecule is going to have to go a different direction. So that should take care of that problem. Now we're going to know here very quickly. So if we still get a Venturi effect, we got a serious problem. But if we actually see that we're getting a high pressure there and we can measure that pressure difference, then we're good to go. So.
Cool. What do we have here?
Thank you.
I think I finally found my style of safety glasses.
Hey, there you go. Looking good, Terry.
Get him! Oh, cool girl.
Looking good, kiddo. It's nitrous oxide.
Oh, laughing gas?
Yeah.
Really? Did you know that?
Yeah.
That was laughing gas?
Yeah. Terry's like, man, I love the I-beam.
I didn't know this was laughing gas. Alright, so looks like we actually got everything to kind of work out. We'll just have the camera. We're gonna set up the other camera stationary, and so we can record it and have like markers and stuff. So I'm headed back to the shop right now to go get that. So, okay, so what's happening?
You screwed up.
You screwed up?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. But give me a second to get through my brain fart and then we'll figure it out.
No, that's okay. The thinking pose.
Yeah. So if we get a pressure drop right here, we measure that pressure drop. Now we can still use that data. The pressure drop that's coming out. Let's set the camera up and we'll do the calculation for that regardless. And then we have some pints, so let's come up with a more clever way to measure this thing. So, but we can at least figure out if we're anywhere near XFD or not.
for about the next 45 minutes or so, we tested each of the chambers to see how high the water level rose. How Ian described this information was the difference between qualitative and quantitative data. Kind of what we were doing here with noticing the change in the water level. That is definitely a qualitative, not a quantitative. Qualitative is more of we're just observing, what can we see, what are the differences, what's the change in water level. We're not getting too specific with the numbers, but we can generally try to pick up certain trends or patterns within the results of the experiment. So that's definitely what we did here, was qualitatively looked, we filmed it, watched the water level go up, down, whatever it did according to the size chamber. And then because of that information, we'll take that chamber and we'll know, okay, these holes, the bigger hole worked better or the longer tube worked better, all for the purpose of knowing what is the best way to maximize the turbulent airflow from one end to the other. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, this is part of the water pressure test. Again, we're trying to develop a tube that doesn't leak. And there's a lot of different ideation and things that go into that. This was the second time that we were in I-beam. And we got some good information, so we can take that and refine our experiment. Thanks for watching the student shop. Keep in mind there's a lot of stuff that goes on. There's a lot of things that went well, a lot of things that don't go well, and I'm doing my best to make those concise and so you can understand, but definitely feel free to watch some of the other videos that we've got. Those are going to help kind of fill in the picture of everything that's happening leading up to the fusion experiment, which we'll be making videos for soon as well. Again, thank you and have a nice day.